SA Sports Show. I'm here with James Alexander. How are you, mate? Welcome.
Great, thanks for having me, mate.
But I've just watched you in so many competitions of CrossFit, and you're a beast. You know? But now you've taken a bit of a different slant to it all. Now you're a head coach and trainer, so that's exciting.
Yeah, it has been. It's been a big shift for me, changing careers from hotel management into the fitness world. But I think I've adapted pretty quickly and pretty well.
And how did you adapt? I mean, obviously you've trained a lot, and I've trained with you many times.
Yeah.
But you're always a student, aren't you, when you're training?
Always.
So then now getting out the front and being the head coach and taking that responsibility on what programs you put forward to your to so-called your students.
Yeah, I think I still take the student approach even when I'm coaching. You can always learn from people and scenarios as well. So not losing that's important. But
just enjoying it.
Just love it, mate. Like I wake up every day.
You've seen good results, of course. I mean, because that's the great thing about, I suppose, being a coach is someone comes in, knocks on the door, and you see what they want to achieve, and then all of a sudden 6, 8 weeks or a few months' time, you're saying, well, this person's getting some great results, and that's because of you. You know?
Well, I think there's a fine balance there where I get to facilitate the space and the training for them, but watching them do the work and seeing their personal growth as well as their fitness goals being achieved, that's where the real satisfaction comes for me.
What about some of your goals now? I mean, now that you are a coach, has it helped your CrossFit, and your own training? Yeah,
definitely. I've got a better understanding of how to structure my own workouts and taking on the BFT training way, I've actually found myself getting fitter and stronger at the same time, whereas before I was trading one for the other. I was balancing.
BFT is body fit training. You're at Glen Osmond Road.
Yep.
Yeah, fantastic. So, tell me a bit about, and I was chatting to you off camera there before, about that balance, balance of strength and cardio, because I'm sort of going just to the local gym, and it's one of those 24/7s, which is absolutely fantastic and works, for me perfectly. But I do watch a lot of the young guys, want to become sort of Arnold Schwarzenegger, and yet they want to play footy or cricket. I just don't see the right sort of balance there. Do you find that?
Yeah, you do. You get a lot of younger guys, I guess, come through that want to be like big and jacked, but they want to still be functional, but they trade off one for the other, generally speaking. I think CrossFit style or BFT, they're very different as far as the way they program things, but like functional fitness space is huge. Yeah. And that's where you're going to get your best results. Yeah. And the way, example, this is what I know best. So the BFT way is you'll hit all 3 energy systems and all 3 muscle fiber types within a week of training. Yeah. So you're really going to get the most out of it, and that's scientifically backed.
Because I reckon that's really important, because I know there's a lot out there that are coming up to their footy season, or maybe towards the end of the year there's going to be their cricket season. But what I've found is, and I look back in my football career, that I think I was ticking all the boxes of those 3 functional areas that you were talking about, probably without realising it. Back in some of my pre-seasons, and I had really good years. Yeah, and then for some reason I changed it, because it is hard work, and I thought, I'm probably not going to, work as hard as I did. And then all of a sudden my next season of football isn't as good. Then you go back to the basics again. So, doing it the right way, doing the technique, getting those, ticking the box in those 3 functional areas is just so important. Yeah. And I sort of can't emphasise it enough that, again, I'm seeing in the gyms, and this is really important, that they're doing their own thing, and I think it might be probably not getting the full result what they should be getting. Yeah,
I guess achieving that like athlete all-rounded like fitness levels. Obviously, everyone has different goals, and if they want to be a bodybuilder, cardio is going to be less important to them. But as far as functional movement goes, which I think everyone should achieve or attempt to achieve a little bit for life, as far as like hip stability, like later in life when you have a fall, being able to get up and all that sort of stuff. That's where this comes in.
So just very important that if you're doing some gym work, make sure you go to the trainers and have a chat about, what's best for you, both cardio and strength, rather than just wanting to do your own program and bulking up But you look good on the beach, though. I mean, we can't take that away. Yeah, but you've got other goals as well. Let's other goals. You've raised well over $25,000 in the last 3 years for Are You Okay?
Yeah.
Which is absolutely brilliant. I really take my hat off, and I've seen lots of your Instagrams. And, like when you're talking about fundraising, it's not like you just go and knock on the door and selling cookies. Your stuff is like running 100 Ks,
Yeah. Oh, it was a walk, 100 Ks, but with a weight vest on.
Carrying a weight vest on, okay.
Carrying water, food, all that stuff as well on top of the weight vest. So, so the background for that is with Are You Okay is sadly, but fortunately, in 2019, I attempted to take my own life.
Oh, wow.
Fortunately, unsuccessfully.
Yeah.
And I gained an immense amount of perspective through the next 6 months or so after that, learning about myself, what I need to achieve happiness, like where my life was going wrong.
Can I ask you, unsuccessfully, which is, wow, fantastic.
Yeah.
But was it the case of it just snapped saying, this is not what I want, or you were still depressed for quite a while before, the switch hit, this is not, I want a life?
So there was a snap moment, but there was obviously lingering feelings for a while there, and I had countless therapy sessions, spent over, I think it was $12,500 in therapy over 18 months.
Wow, okay.
Just constantly going in, checking in.
Yeah.
Even when I felt like I was fine, I still went just to make sure that, because I thought I knew me before, and obviously I didn't. Wow. I was just suppressing stuff. Obviously a pretty dark time in my life, and I was married, had a 5-month-old kid when all of this happened. So it's like learning how to get on with life without that. My marriage failed, and that was a part of the reason for where I was at. But getting on with life after that and adapting to the new life that I had to live, that there was a lot of sadness in there as well, definitely. Yeah. But therapy, talking to people, normalising how I felt with my mates, like opening up what I'd done.
That was probably something that was a bit of a barrier, obviously,
100%.
Beforehand, that you didn't want to share.
But you'd seen me at the gym. I'm the happy, smiley guy, loud
I can't believe it.
in everyone's face, like having fun all the time.
And you had this dark side that sort of that no one knew about, and not that I don't think, especially Barry Curtin back in the studio, but I remember doing those partner wads, and you had about 6 or 7 girls all around just saying, "I want to be partnered with you," and you would never have thought that you ever had this aspect. So so obviously, Are You Okay has been a great support for you. Yeah,
they have, and I've actually built relationships within their business, I guess. People within, like, as I've done my fundraising, have reached out. We've built these relationships where I can contact them, and they've actually supported my fundraising attempts by promoting what I'm doing, which they don't really do for everyone. And I've given them a bit of insight into what's come in from it, as far as conversations being started with absolute random people who have just messaged me once they've heard my story and stuff like that. So it's been
fantastic. What about some of the support you've got from your mates? And I know a lot of your friends. And I see on Instagram some nice photos of some of the fundraising, and you've got a team around yourself doing these walks and these runs and the vests on, and drinking probably a mouthful of water strategically over quite many hours. They have been fantastic, and I know the guys. They're brilliant.
A few of them as well, from CrossFit, but just. And I think that's probably one of the most ironic things about where I was mentally. I thought I was alone and I couldn't talk to anyone about my feelings, and they didn't matter. But ultimately, I have all these people around me that care and want to be there and support what I'm doing. So but
it is interesting, because if you had said at the club that time, look, I want to do a fundraising opportunity. It's you'd probably get us all anyway.
Yeah, and that's what I mean.
Which is really strange, isn't it?
100%. I'd convinced myself that I didn't matter to people, and that was probably the biggest downfall of mine. I'd just written myself off as far as importance to anyone, or my presence, I suppose. I didn't think I had one. And then once you start talking and you draw the eyes and the attention, you're like, oh, people are listening, and there's a bigger picture, and we know how to fix it here. Yeah, because I know that you had about 20 of your mates, and great support from some of the ladies as well, from Brawn as well, and of course BFT, but no question, they were there for you 24/7 anyway. It's just really it sort of dumbfounds me a little bit that you didn't realise that. And I think that's one of the biggest takeaways for everyone else, is that these people are there in your life, and you just need to realise that once you start talking and you ask for help, people will help you.
Yeah. Even if it wasn't help, you said, let's have a fundraiser. You would have probably got the same bunch of people.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Now, you've only just recently done a fundraiser. That was about 100K walk, was it? You had your vests on.
Yeah, so
you make it as grueling as possible, obviously.
Well, I made it worse on the day. So it was planned to be 91 kilometres.
Yeah.
9 kilo weight vest, 3 kilo water pack, food, all that stuff. And when we were about 65 Ks in, obviously tired and delirious, I put a post up saying if someone donates $250, we'll go to 100 Ks.
Oh, you can't.
I had 4 people do it in about 5 minutes. I was like, oh no.
Isn't that brilliant? Oh, that's fantastic.
I didn't think it would actually happen, but it did pretty quickly. And then donations kept flowing after that. So at that point, we were at 10,000. When we finished the walk 5 hours later, we hit 13,700.
Isn't it fantastic?
So it just went gangbusters.
And it's funny because, look, we know it's for Are You OK, but it really is for you. You know what I mean? And I think that's fantastic. So you got anything coming up? You got some more fundraisers or tough raises, I think we should call that one.
The next one's actually a bit more relaxed. It's we're doing a sit-down formal dinner with the catering company from South Australia out in the paddock.
Yeah.
They're helping, they're donating their time and services to help
fantastic.
set it up. So we're going to do about 100, 150 people depending on venue availability. We're just locking in a few things. That'll be in Men's Health Week in June. So.
Please lock me in on that one.
Yeah,
there.
100%.
But also lock some of the staff and also Barry Curtin and Phil Smythe, because I think you're doing 1,000 burpee fundraisers as well, aren't you?
Well, I don't know about that. I'll do it.
That would be horrible. Imagine that.
Well, I'll do it. But
that's fantastic.
Not proudly.
Just really proud of what you're doing, mate. And
Thanks,
look,
mate.
your training's outstanding. I'm watching your lot of stuff on Instagram. It's fantastic. You personally and watching you grow, doing what you want to achieve, what you're doing for your students, absolutely fantastic. But what you're doing for men's health and just making us all aware that there is someone there to support you, and it is Are You OK? But generally, it's a whole heap of mates right behind you. They're always
friends,
there
family, mates. They're all there. You just don't. You need to let them in.
Let them in.
Let them
Spot
in.
on. Let them in. So, mate, thanks very much for your time and coming in. It really does. This is a fantastic chat. I've really, really enjoyed it. So, back to you guys.